Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Danny Almaskanov, and I'm here today with you on the Just Guns channel. And I've seen that there was quite a lot of questions regarding these things and Russian field medicine in general. I'm not a medic myself, so I can't be treated as an expert in terms of these things. However, I can share with you at least some of the information you might be interested in. Well, it all obviously starts with the Esmarch itself, followed up by the modern counterparts to the Esmarch and your normal Western type, cat type tourniquets. In the modern Russian doctrine and in the modern Russian medical kits, pretty much all of those things are included, sometimes simultaneously and sometimes separately. The reason behind that is the fact that all of those are basically addressing the same issue: massive bleedings. And all of those are intended to stop such massive bleedings. However, there are some issues with all of those, and that's the reason why sometimes all of those are included and sometimes one is preferred to the other. Let's start with the Esmarch. The Esmarch is probably the oldest type of such medicine that is still used today. The main issue with the Esmarch is that the material it is made of is actually very fragile. It's not fragile when it's absolutely new out of the factory, however, it does degrade really quickly, leading to a lot of micro defects that are going to affect the structural integrity of the bandage. All in all, this leads to some unfortunate outcomes when the Esmarch may fail and hence not stop the bleeding. For example, it's rather easy to tear one apart. Okay, that's not as easy as I thought it is. Okay. Well, in any case, you get the point. It may be torn apart, especially in those places where it's already weaker, such as these holes. On top of that, the situation gets even worse if we are talking about the Esmarch that was exposed to the sun and water for a prolonged period of time. For example, if we take a look at this Esmarch that was attached to the buttstock of this AKS-74, we can find out that it's pretty much rock solid and absolutely not usable. This type of elastic tourniquets is the modern type of such devices, and it is trying to address the issues of the previous Esmarch ones. The way new elastic tourniquets are addressing the issues of the Esmarch is the use of alternative materials. These do not degrade over time. For example, this exact one I've been carrying on EDC basis pretty much every day for multiple months as of now, and it's still as good as new. I'm not sure exactly of the material. I will probably put it in a text box or something like that. However, the main principle of usage of such devices did not change. Now, even if we do understand what the purpose of the Esmarch and other elastic tourniquets is, there is always a question of why not just use the cat instead, and this might seem like a perfect idea. However, there are some disadvantages to it as well. For example, while carrying something like that is extremely simple, we just fold it in such pattern until it's folded all the way up, and then you put it inside your pouch. With cat-type tourniquets, you always have to choose whether to carry it in a application-ready manner or not. The reasoning behind that is that it gets quite difficult to apply a cat-type tourniquet onto your own leg, especially if you're wearing body armor. So let's say that I just... And now I'm wearing a modern style plate carrier. It becomes quite difficult to reach down to your own leg, let alone if you're wounded. This becomes an especially big problem if your cat is deployed in a ready-to-use manner and you have to put your leg through the cat itself. On the other hand, elastic tourniquets do not require you putting your limb through the tourniquet. You just apply it over the limb, making the application much faster. However, all the disadvantages of the old-style elastic tourniquets are well understood in the Russian doctrine. Therefore, it is usually recommended to use them as self-healing tool. And it is usually recommended that during the evacuation of the wounded, you should switch the elastic tourniquet to the cat tourniquet so that you can easily manipulate the blood flow using the adjustment lever. Obviously, the main disadvantage of the usage of elastic tourniquets is that you have to use both of your hands, meaning that if one of your hands is wounded, it becomes increasingly more difficult to apply a tourniquet to yourself. To cut it short, it is usually recommended to apply elastic tourniquets to your legs and apply cat-style tourniquets to your arms. On top of that, it is usually recommended to apply cat-style tourniquets to the other wounded soldiers, instead of helping yourself. I hope that this answers all of your questions. However, if I missed something, you should probably give me a comment or text me directly on whatever app you prefer to. That's all for today. Thanks.